So in this video, it will be explained on how you can organize your application resources and specify alternative resources and access them in your applications. There are many more items which you use to build a good application Android. So apart from coding for the application, you take care of the various other resources like a static content that your code uses, such as the bitmaps, colors, the layouts, the values, user interfaces, strings, animation instructions, and more. So these resources are always maintained separately in various subdirectories under the res directory of the project. So we have here the res directory, okay? So in which we have here the XML files that define the um, property, okay, that can be read at runtime by calling the resources that get XML. You can save the various configuration files here, which will be used at runtime. And here we have the drawable, and here you can save your image files like the PNG, JPEG, GIF, or the XML files that are compiled into bitmaps, state lists, shapes, animations, drawable. They are saved in a drawable directory under res directory and accessed from the rdrawable class. Then the layout, which is here, okay. So the layout, um, you have here the XML files that define a user interface layout. They are saved in res/layout directory and accessed from the r.layout class. And now we have the values. So in the values, we have here the XML files that contain simple values such as strings, colors, um, themes. Okay, for example, here are some file name conventions for resources you can create in this directory. Um, the arrays.xml for arrays and accessed from the r.arrays class. Okay, and also there are alternative resources in which your application should provide alternative resources to support specific device configurations. For example, you should um, include alternative drawable resources like the images for different screen resolution and alternative string resources for different languages. At runtime, Android detects the current device configuration and loads the appropriate resources for your application. So, to specify the configuration specific alternative for a set of resources, we have the following steps like um, create a new directory in res named, okay, here we can create, sorry, inside the res folder we can create a new directory named um, if tara, Android resource directory in the form of um, the resource name. Okay, resources name dash config qualifier. So here the resources name um, will be any of the resources mentioned in the above table like layout, drawable, etc. And the qualifier um, will specify an individual configuration for these resources are to be used. You can check official documentation for the complete list of qualifiers for different type of resources. So here, for example, mm, we have already, for example, you will be creating um, so we have here the available qualifiers. Okay, you can choose the qualifiers like okay example. Right. So we have here our created um resources. Um, here, Dara. Okay. For example, we'll be adding another one. Okay. We have create new Android resource directory. Source bundle. Mm, a directory, for example, you can add any directory here, like you want another layout folder, out underscore VR. So this is your created layout, and yeah. So during your application development, you will need to access defined resources either in your code or in your layout XML files. So in accessing resources in code, like for example, when your Android application is compiled, uh, our class gets generated, which contains resource IDs for all the resources available in your res directory. You can use R class to access that resource using subdirectory and resource name or directly resource ID. For example, to access the drawable files, okay, like my image.png, okay, you will use the following code like image view, um we have to, yeah, these are the path. Okay, here we will be looking for the image view. XML version, then resources, up, layout. Here, this is where we have edited our text, the hello world, but we have edited it in the design view and it is already adjusted automatically in our code. So we put the smiley here